just talk. I'll start for you. Lowdown was a good person. I met him when I was young. I had a baby by him. But before that, Peaches had a baby. I was too young. I terminated the baby. I'm a strong activist, a pro-life. I don't believe in any woman taking a baby's life. I didn't become one of these strong people about pro-life. I really didn't think about it like that. I had supportive friends in my crib family that took care of me at that point in my life. I'm 53 years old, and I've never forgiven myself for terminating Yvette. Yvette would have been her name, and she would have been 35 years old or something like that. I believe it's a woman's right because we go through so much shit. I did the first part of this in the tub because it's the only safe place I feel like I can pull down my pants and splash around like a little kid without thinking about getting attacked. When I was 18 months, me and Peaches had not intertwined into our entities of which we became. Peaches was my name that my father gave me because I was blossoming like a little peach. My little buddy buddies, that's what I call them, were forming into what they call womanhood way before it was too soon. A man named Lonnie kidnapped me from Regional Hospital, which was known then as Alexian Brothers Hospital. He was a friend of my mom's family. He raped me for what seemed like forever. He had been prepping me every time my mom would come over. She would drink a little bit, but that was her priority. No, my mother is a strong African American woman that had the wrong friends at the wrong time. And I guess the wrong daughter at the wrong time, too. I'm a shameful parent to my mother. No, Nelson Mandela's daughter is not fighting breast cancer with me. My mother is fighting breast cancer. My mother has breast cancer. I don't believe in the pink, but I stand here in my orange, my peach, because I'm standing in a cab of peaches that is so catatonic stuck right now that she can't even speak. Lonnie's cigarette breath on top of his E&J alcohol haunts my very day, even today. I went and I took Peaches over there because people were calling me crazy because I was being poisoned with medication that is given to people with schizophrenia. Excuse me. I don't have schizophrenia. No, I don't. I have a rare disease called MNS, neuromanergic syndrome. It means I'm allergic to psych meds. After having a near-death experience where I was almost killed by San Jose while being under the influence of Preparval The same drug that killed Michael Jackson, the same drug that killed Whitney Houston. Allegedly? No, I believe it. Because as they ripped my body from my home, took me from my kids, strapped me down like Jesus, shot me up with all those medications, they killed my child. 062606. Daniel. Daniel would be 15 years old right about now. He was murdered while I was under the influence of medication that I chose not to take, when I screamed and pleaded for them not to kill him. Valley Medical Hospital of Santa Clara County murdered my child, Daniel. I was living in a house, and I'll just leave it like that. No. I raped my husband 5 years later because he didn't want to have unprotected sex with me. That would soon give me the product called Silent. Silent would be my second child by my husband. My husband was upset because I did things to him without his consent. He's really shy about people touching him in inappropriate ways sexually. He was upset about that when I raped him. Unfortunately, my behaviors left me a scar. It left me the scar-bearing Silent. Silent was in my womb when I was threatened by San Jose Police Department, who suspended my license and took me to jail. When I say I know how Martin Luther King feels or felt, I know how he felt. I was dragged out of my car by 18 police officers. The whole force came out. They took me in the middle of the night while my husband was having unprotected sex with one of his lovers. She called me and told me if my child was his. I was upset and I took a ride. My ride was supposed to go to Oakland. I needed a hit of some crack cocaine. I didn't get a hit. I got turned a curveball that blew my own mind. San Jose Police Department pulled me over, making fun of me. They strapped me in the seat back in the back of the car. As a little girl, I used to have problems with riding in the back of cars because I see things different than anybody in the world. Through my eyes, I see visions of other things, other worlds, other people, and other things. I saw the police officer as something else, kind of like a demon or something. I reacted like, please let me out. He wouldn't. If that officer was doing his job and took me to jail for driving with a suspended license, Silent would be 9 years old today. But because he didn't, and he wanted to see a nigga tortured, they took me. They took me back into this room where this black man held me down. As I pleaded and begged for his life, they strapped me down, injecting me what they call an IME. I am allergic to an IME. That's why I have Monroe Neurogam syndrome. They murdered him. He's dead. They took my body after they found out I was pregnant, booked me into San Jose main jail. I contacted an attorney. His name is Tom Tomatis, attorney at law. He made me put my name on $1 million death sentence. He reminded me as I went to his meetings how the Klan was, how the police department was corrupt, and how I was going to win. didn't win till I began. My college started saying to me, you cannot win until you begin. I struggled to begin when he pulled the case. Shut his office down, he said, going out of business. He never went out of business. He took that $1 million and he ran. He paid his bills and I paid the price. My name is Olika. Does it end there? No. I moved out of what they called suburban white area. An all white area with me and my children being the only niggas. Why do I say a nigga? Because I was a slave to David's plantation. I gave them every welfare check I had, every SSI check that I had, to live in an all-white neighborhood where I was nothing more than a nigga. Someone that was raped in her own house. Too tired coming from college. They would just enter my house and rape me. Rape me. Rape me. Rape me and rape me. Rape me mentally. Rape me physically. Rape me psychologically. Rape me spiritually. There was nights that I sat there with that Bible in my hand just screaming. I married a serial killer. Yes, I did. Some said I was half-assed out of my mind then. But who's to say what love really is? 415 is marked on his chest. 415 separates into 4, 1, and 5. 1 would be the nail. 5 would be silent. And 4 would be feet. Was I personally doing that? No, I didn't. It was just about prior 6 months ago that I really know why the 5 was there for silent. I used to always say the nail was the first, feet was the last. I call feet because his precious little hoofs. That word, hoofs. Feet was going to be my last child. I wanted to enjoy the pregnancy no matter what. No matter what the cost me. At 5 weeks, 3 days, Regional Hospital released me with a baby in my tubes. Medical negligent that almost cost me my life. I passed out, blood trickling down my legs at Oak Ridge Mall in San Jose. They took me. They took me to Valley Medical, where they injected me with what they are calling magnesium sulfites or something like that. It was a cancer drug that introduces your system with cancer cells that breaks down the baby and kills him. 2 months later, I was diagnosed with fibrous, which is a benign cancer of my uterus. 6 months prior to that, I had what was called a tube ligation reversal. I always felt like I fucked up God's design when I gutted myself out, trying to stop myself from having children. I gutted myself out, and I tried to turn the hands of time back so that I can have a child by my husband. I love my husband, and I loved him then. I love him now. Pete was to be my last child. I was back here. right here.